All right, guys, so Honor of Kings World has just launched in China, and today is officially day one. I'm around 6+ hours or so, roughly, give or take, and I thought I would give my early thoughts on it because a lot of you guys have been asking and will probably continue to ask. Right out the gate, I gotta say, again, specifically when it comes to the first 6 or so hours, so this is not an endgame review, I would probably give this an A-. I was actually pretty surprised. My expectations were pretty low going into this. It almost felt like another, I don't know, just from the trailers, to me, it kind of looked like a Genshin-like game that wasn't anime, just using the Honor of Kings IP. But after playing it, yeah, the game is actually pretty damn good, at least so far. My opinions on the game is obviously subject to change depending on how the end game goes and what's beyond 6 hours. There's only so much you can know within the first 6 hours, but those first 6 hours were really good. The combat was very solid. Before we get into that, for those of you who are not familiar with what this game is, we should probably start there. A lot of people were talking about this game being an MMORPG. This is not an MMORPG. This is definitely an MMORPG hybrid, so definitely expect to hear a lot of comparisons to Where Winds Meet. To me, this feels more of like a hybrid between MMORPGs and Genshin-like games, like Wuthering Waves or even Crystal of Atlan to a certain degree, right? It almost feels like the world design and game packaging is kind of on par or similar to those Genshin-like games, but the game content is more of like an MMORPG. You are not going to see hundreds and thousands of people on the screen. In fact, I'm pretty sure you're limited to only being able to see 22 or so. However, Where Winds Meet is a game where you play single player and you have MMO elements. So it's more of like a single player action RPG fused with an MMORPG. So there's a lot of like solo instances and stuff. In this game, as you're going through your MSQ, you are doing it primarily solo. I mean, you are in MMOs as well, right? But as far as like a single player mode goes, that's non-existent. This is an online game and I'm out in the world right now. This is online. If a player comes to this area right now, you will see him. I'm kind of like at a different area here, but like I said, the way it's layered, I don't know how it's layered exactly, but it's layered in such a way where you're not going to see like a ton of people, but you do see a decent amount of people. I was actually kind of surprised, and the way they've done it is kind of interesting because everyone is actually within their own world, but you can see each other's worlds, but you can't interact with it. For example, this deer in the background, if I interact with it, if I kill it or something, if you're in a different world but you see me, you wouldn't be able to mess with my mobs. So it's like the mobs I see on my screen are actually mine and we won't share them, but we can still see each other and we're sharing the world, if that makes sense. It's kind of a weird system, but obviously if we're in the same party, we're going to be sharing mobs. So yeah, I'm going to go into more detail with a lot of these systems after 20 hours. I do plan on making a more in-depth review on this game, so definitely sub to the channel if you are not sub to the channel already and you want to hear that. But yeah, the game packaging, the world really does feel like just a very large version of those Genshin-like games with MMO content. And to give you an idea as to the scope of this thing, I'm just right here. This is a region, right? I zoom out, there are more regions here, and as I zoom out, this is like these turn out to be like sub-regions within a bigger region. Yeah, like as you can see, the world is really big. It's gonna take a while to get through everything, and that's great, right? I think in that sense it feels a little bit more MMO-y, I guess, because it is a large, vast world. Graphically, the game looks fantastic. It looks really good. I'm not sure how the video is going to capture this, but visually you definitely feel that polish, and not only graphically, when it comes to the polish level, you feel that AAA polish throughout the entire game. Honor of Kings, if you're not familiar, is actually a huge flagship title for Tencent, who's the mother company behind this, or the owning company behind this rather. And Honor of Kings is a mobile MOBA game, right? But they are very successful. I've seen some people in the comment section be like, Honor of Kings is not successful. Yeah, it's not that popular in the US, but in Asia, it's very big, or was very big. I think it still is very big. So this is, I can after playing this game, it kind of makes sense, right? Hindsight is 2020. Tencent put a lot of money into this because this is a big title for them in China with Honor of Kings, and they definitely from a polish perspective, delivered. Actually, there goes someone in the background. This is kind of how players appear. You kind of see their silhouettes. It's a very interesting system. I've actually never seen it done this way, but from a performance perspective, it definitely works. It definitely makes the game less laggy. Sorry, I don't really have a script in front of me, so I'm just kind of giving, again, my early thoughts on this whole thing. Combat was something that a lot of people have been asking about. I'm going to go into detail with the combat in the follow-up video to this, but the combat is pretty good. It's different from Crystal of Atlan, but it almost kind of reminded me of Crystal of Atlan a little bit, with like different super armors and stuff like that you have to pay attention to. Very easy to pick up, right? I've got 3 base skills here, and this game relies heavily on a combo system. Like that skill right there, after I land that skill, it actually can change my left mouse button skill. Let me give you an example here. Actually, I'm going to go to this. I think I saw something here. So I'm going to use my E ability. And after I use my E ability, if I use my left mouse ability, there's a little dash there, right? My regular left mouse button ability, it's a different skill. It kind of looks the same. Or if I perfect dash, that also procs that little dash skill. And with this class specifically, after I use the skill, again, I'm going to use this, and then it's going to proc that dash skill. And then I have a little golden, I don't know if you caught that. That was really quick. But I have a little golden aura or line or circle that appears after my character after I use what's called an enhanced attack, which an enhanced attack is your basic attack after you dodge. So like that's an enhanced, but that right there, gosh, it's so hard to show you in real time as I'm trying to explain this, but it just essentially combos into another ability. Okay, and like I said, I will go a little bit more into detail on this type of thing, or on all of these systems, in my follow-up video. But the point that I'm making is that the combat is very, very easy to understand and to get into, I guess, early on. But I can clearly tell that it's not just brain dead, smash all of your keys, left mouse button. There's going to definitely be a significant difference between someone that knows what he's doing in damage and someone that doesn't know what he's doing. The combat, the skill ceiling is definitely a little bit higher compared to, well, I don't have a lot of experience with other Genshin-like games, but the skill ceiling is definitely not low within this game. And I think we're going to see that a lot in PvP. If you like Crystal of Atlan PvP, if you like Where Winds Meet PvP, you will definitely hear a lot of comparisons to Where Winds Meet in this game. If you like these games for their arena, then you're going to really like the arena in this game, because the 1v1s, when it comes to the PvP content, right, you have balanced 1v1s, balanced 4v4s. This is like almost like an Overwatch escort payload pushing game type, and then you've got non-gear balanced 1v1s as well. It really did remind me of Where Winds Meet 1v1s and Crystal of Atlan 1v1s, in the sense that, you know, you're repeatedly comboing and dodging and parrying and punishing and telegraphing, all of these different things, right? It's actually quite fun, and you can access this content very early on. And of course, there are like rankings and stuff as well. And on top of that, if you're more of a PvE Andy, I gotta say, I'm only level 15, and so far, just from the early game bosses that I've experienced, the fights are pretty good. And I don't know, my expectation levels were pretty low coming into this game, but now after seeing these early story boss fights, my expectation levels for some of these end game dungeons and raids are starting to go a lot higher, to the point where I kind of feel like I might be low-key disappointed. All in all, the early first 6 hours of gameplay experience, I felt like they streamlined it pretty well. The game wasn't overwhelming. They did a pretty good job introducing all of the game systems and the combat and all of these things. I feel like they streamlined that pretty well. The onboarding for new players essentially was pretty decent. I've not hit any walls yet after 6 hours. I mean, walls in the sense that MSQ walls. So for whatever reason, a lot of Chinese games are like, you cannot continue the MSQ for another 24 hours after playing the game for like 3 hours. This game, I haven't seen that yet after like 6 hours or so. So, you know, maybe it still exists. Take that with a grain of salt. Monetization wise, a lot of people are going to be asking, is this game pay to win? It seems like it's relatively similar to Do at Night Abyss or even Where Winds Meet, where there is gacha, but the gacha is strictly cosmetic. You got a couple of banners here, and as far as I can tell, everything is cosmetic. And I will say, as someone who has pulled on Where Winds Meet banners, it is way cheaper than Where Winds Meet, the gacha in this game, that is. So that's pretty good. I think some people will probably talk about the fact that you can unlock these classes. So right here, right below my camera, these are different classes. So this is the Power of Time class. This is the Mech Rights class. And these you will have to unlock via playing, or you can pay money to unlock them as well. So I really don't think that's a big deal because, yeah, just, you know, you want to play it day one, sure, but it's really not going to be that difficult to unlock these classes, unless there are like a couple that are. No, I think one person said maybe one class is locked behind a paywall and everything else is relatively easy to unlock. But let me know in the comment section below if you can confirm or deny that claim. But there is no pay for power in this game, so that's awesome. That's fantastic. So yeah, overall I am pretty impressed with this game. Was this some revolutionary experience where I'm just like, holy shit, this game blew me away? Absolutely not. But at least within the first 6 hours, it did a lot of things right. In fact, my only gripe with the game, or the only area where I would say it wasn't at like an A grade, would be obviously the UX, the UI. But even this, for those, you know, Genshin-like games, the UI isn't bad. I think the UI UX in this game is certainly better than Where Winds Meet. That game is just, the UX in that game is just very convoluted. Fantastic game, but the UX really gets me. This one, obviously, you still have that like mobile controller friendly UI. Although I don't think this game is actually available for mobile. It'll probably be available for mobile later. That would be my guess. But as of now, I don't think there's a mobile client for it. But it's not too bad. It's not overwhelming, you know, but it is in line with that. So this is, the UI UX is probably the only thing that I think is lacking. You know, every other area I feel like they delivered. Again, for an MMO hybrid. So if you're looking for like a Crimson Desert sandbox, just, you know, so many layers, so much depth to the game, this is not that game. You're definitely going to be disappointed. But if I am looking at this from the lens of, okay, MMO hybrid, trying to fuse Genshin-like games with MMO games for what it is, yeah, I feel pretty good about giving it an A-. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts, at least up to this stage of the game. Let me know your thoughts. Is this a game you're looking forward to? Is this slop to you? Personally, after playing this, I think I am definitely going to be investing a lot more hours. I need to see what's at the end game. See you guys in the next video.